Halftime Pizza and FightSaga.com proudly present WaraWeek Radio with 5-decade fight trainer James Gogue.
Guys, welcome to a special impromptu edition of WaraWeek Radio with the gentleman that when you see his picture, like if you looked up boxing coach, right? Old school badass boxing coach in the dictionary, you would see this gentleman's picture. Hey. Coach James Gogue, how you doing, sir? Welcome to Wednesday Night WaraWeek Radio.
We had the Super Bowl Sunday, so that comes first in America. Football, baby.
Yep. That's it.
We rescheduled it for today, so we're gonna have a good show today. A lot of information to go over.
Oh yeah, you know what, Coach? And we've got a lot to cover. There's been a lot of news since we last convened on our Sunday edition of WaraWeek Radio with James Gogue. A lot of news, and you know what? Tomorrow is the big day, February 16th. Dun, dun, dun. Tank Davis goes to court.
Tomorrow's the big day, huh?
Tomorrow's the big day. It's gonna reveal quite a bit. We're gonna see we're gonna see if this fight is gonna go off and be announced, or if it's gonna be pushed back. We're gonna find out. So tomorrow's the beginning. We have no idea how long this is gonna last. If they're gonna be able to postpone it any further, we'll see. But yeah, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff, Coach. We're going to talk about Canelo, his fight being announced, right? Not announced official, but it looks like it's going to be May 6th in Jalisco, Mexico against, John Ryder. We're going to find out. Yep, we're going to find out if the coach likes that fight. We're also going to talk about Deontay Wilder. Well, it looks like he may duck out of a WBC mandated fight against Andy Ruiz. We're also going to talk about Tyson Fury. Will he actually duck out of a unification for undisputed with Alexander Usyk for April 29th? We're also going to get the coach's thoughts on this weekend's action on DAZN during the day from England, as well as sunny California on DAZN. We're going to talk about everything, guys. We're going to find out what the coach thinks also about Plant versus Benavidez, the entire card coming together. And we're also going to talk about, oh my gosh, looks like we're going to see Josh Taylor versus Teofimo Lopez. It's going to be going to take place possibly in Scotland. We're going to see if coach still cares about this matchup.
Oh, man.
But first, Coach, we want to get your thoughts, brother. This past Saturday in San Antonio, right, in the Alamo Dome, O'Shaquie Foster comes away with the vacant WBC 130-pound title, outpointing, right, Ray Vargas, and putting on a very impressive defensive-minded performance. Coach, what were your thoughts on his title-winning effort this past Saturday in a very cavernous, empty Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas?
He boxed Ray Vargas intelligently. He took away all his strengths with his game plan, moving in and out of range, that little, semi shoulder roll defense and everything, leaning back from his punches. Foster has good eyes. He can see all those punches coming, and he's seen everything clearly what Vargas was going to throw at him. But what really threw him off, Joe, was that in and out movement. It totally befuddled Vargas. After the second round, he was lost. He was hesitant because every time he would try to get off on you, Foster would be, out of range, moving in, then out of range. Then moving in circles, okay? Then when he did get close to him, every time he tried to land that right hand, Foster, would lean back and make him miss this much. Just totally, befuddled him, confused him, took him out of his game plan. He could never get into rhythm. Well, that's his fault. The cheap motherfucker, scoring a bunch of punching bags. All right? When you get
now, hold on. Explain that, Coach. How did he prepare for this championship fight?
Well, I heard through the grapevine he didn't want to pay for sparring, and he was just using a bunch of local guys. Okay, punching bags, talentless punching bags, guys that were stationary, guys that didn't have that in and out athletic movement, guys that didn't have the speed, the defensive skills of Foster. Okay, so he couldn't acclimate himself, his eyes, with that type of speed, with that type of defensive style, on knowing how to attack it. He never fought a guy like Foster. If you look through his whole career, guys have been stationary. Guys have been smaller. Okay, guys that are pretty much were easy to hit. When he fought a guy like Foster, boy, he was just swinging it there because Foster was in and out. He was in range and he was out of range, and he was just swinging it there, just totally befuddled Vargas. And them quick counter punches, okay, that he got caught with, the right hands. All that, the quick jabs. Yeah, his speed really, affected Vargas's game plan. He couldn't get off like he usually is because he never faced a guy with that type of speed. But it all comes down, Joe. Poorly prepared. He didn't have a real corner man. His fucking dad was in the corner, who never worked the corner in his life. He threw him in there with his son.
Oh boy,
what's us Mexican daddies for you? Or all of them. They're all the same and all races.
Yep.
Oh, I got to get in there with my son. He's my son and all that. And don't know a fucking thing about boxing. And like I said, totally unprepared for this type of fighter. Okay, he thought because I'm Ray Vargas, I'm 36-0 with 22 knockouts. I'm a 2-time weight division champion. All I got to do is show up and win. Well, baby, that ain't good enough, man. And Foster taught him a lesson, okay? Taught him a lesson that this ain't the 126-pound punching bags that you've been fighting with 122-pound punching bags you've been fighting. I'm a whole different animal, a whole different talent that you never seen before. And you could see he was lost. He was lost. Yep. But hey, congratulations to Usyk for his brilliant performance and just nullifying and neutralizing everything Vargas brought to the table. Oh yeah, and Bobby Benton, his coach Bobby Benton and Aaron Navarro
from Mainstream Gym in Houston, Texas.
Good job of preparing them and getting them ready.
Yeah, I tell you what, now they have 2 champions out of that gym. And it's going to keep accumulating because, in my opinion, aside from you, Coach, I think Bobby's probably probably the most underrated trainer in boxing.
He's doing a good job over there.
Doing an excellent job
over there.
Yep.
With them 2 guys, okay? Yeah. Yeah, Bobby, I remember Bobby just got into he started training guys like in the early 2000s and everything after a brief amateur career. And Lou Savarese was his first guy.
That's right.
Yeah. Then he grew from there. You know what I mean? He's evolved into a very good trainer, a world-class trainer and everything. And, right then and there, he came up with a big win. His fighter was underrated. Now, if the other guy, Regis, comes up with another big win, and these guys keep winning, hey, man, he's candidate for a trainer of the year.
Yep. Indeed. He's done an excellent job with all of those fighters at the Main Street Gym. Yeah. And we look forward to seeing, according to the WBC schedule, they're now going to have him pitted against 2 mandatory challengers.
Yeah, let him do that. Let him. Rocky Hernandez. Oh, that guy's made for Oshaki. He'll pick that punching bag apart. He could punch, but that's all. And who's the other guy?
Oh, I don't know. But they have scheduled 2. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, yeah. I tell you what, Oshaki did a great job, and you're absolutely right. And unfortunately, not a lot of people were in attendance, Coach, and a huge chunk of this show is going to be dedicated to the business of boxing. Let's just get that out of the way, right? So congratulations to Oshaki Foster. Great job, great performance. Can't wait to see you back in the ring. Hope you stay in the gym. I know Bobby's going to force you to get back in the gym very, very quickly. But this is now, right now, guys. Now, once again, Frank Warren, Tyson Fury's co-promoter right now, and his son George, they're meeting with Usyk's promoter, Alex Krasyuk, right now. Okay. Hopefully they can strike a deal. But according to Tyson Fury, he's not budging. Or he's like, you know what? We're fighting now in Wembley Stadium. I'm the breadwinner. You couldn't sell out my living room on a Saturday night. No one cares. You're not a ticket seller. You never have been, at least not in my hometown. So, you know what? I deserve the massive lion's share of the cut of the purse. And unfortunately, Alexander Usyk's promoter has just stated, hey, we're not budging from 50-50. So this fight is on the verge of collapse in a big way, right? So I'm going to read this, and this was from an article that I wrote on Boxing News 24 back July of last year. And once again, guys, if you aren't familiar with the coach, he just isn't an expert. He's not just an expert in the X's and O's of boxing. He learned the business from one of the greatest to have ever done it, Nan Chargan. He's an expert in the business as well. That's why we love him on this show, and that's what makes him, by far, hands down, the Filipino Emmanuel Stewart.
I never heard that before.
So here it is. Now, this is when, on an interview I did, and I was picking your brain and getting your thoughts when I filled you in off the air. You remember I told you what certain people, I'll just say it right now, Steven Espinosa told us, right, about the impasse that was Showtime, Al Heyman negotiating a Spence Crawford fight with Bud Crawford. Yeah. And I filled you in, and you said this on a Sunday night episode in July, or was it June or July? I think it was June, right? You said this, and I'm quoting, and you were very prophetic. You said this, quote, and after, well, hold on. Let me go to the very beginning.
Yeah, Joe, you remember my quotes better than me. I forgot.
No. This was because I put it in an article. I'm going to read this verbatim. The only difference is it doesn't have any bad language.
Yeah,
that I had to exclude that for the obvious reasons. But you said this, and once again, here's the premise. You said this about that episode, that situation with Spence Crawford negotiations breaking down. You said that, and this was back in June, you said, you know, it's just not feasible. I'm quoting Gogue now. He said, quote, it's just not feasible. Something has to give. Either the fighters have to be more reasonable with their guaranteed purse demands, or the fans will have to start financially supporting these pay-per-views. And after being expected to pay for every major event over the past 3 decades, does anyone really expect the long-suffering fans to pay for these events if they have the option of streaming them for free in HD? Hell no. If the fighters are so confident that their pay-per-view will perform well and truly believe the fans will elect to purchase the event, what's wrong with making a more reasonable guaranteed purse demand?
Yeah.
While investing in yourself and just relying on back-end residual income. There comes a point where you have to ask yourself, why are these fighters demanding such high guaranteed purses? Someone has to start worrying about the investment of the networks. If networks like Showtime continue to lose money on these high-priced events, do you really think they're going to continue investing in our product?
Yeah.
Without TV dates, what's going to happen to the sport of boxing in the U.S.? That's why HBO ducked out of the business. It became impossible for them to justify investing millions in a product that wasn't delivering numbers to their original programming compared to their original programming. All parties have to understand if the money isn't there, the fight can't be made, period. The networks responsible for putting up money for these expensive events aren't in business to lose money end quote. You stated that. Now, once again, I'm going to look at the date of the article. It's dated July 12th.
I remember that. I remember all that stuff now you're saying, Joe. Yeah. Because, I learned a lot of this stuff from Don, man. He'd been through this shit all the way when he was doing, get this, closed circuit for Sugar Ray Robinson back in the days.
Yep. That's
Ray
right. With the Teleprompter Corporation. That's right.
Yeah, he was doing closed circuit where Ray made him charge of California and Southern Oregon. And he took care of all that, all those closed circuit things. But, it's common sense business. If the money ain't there, then they got to be more reasonable. These guys live in fantasy land, man. They demand, just astronomical guarantees. And the money's not there. You got to be reasonable,
Yep, with piracy being the biggest problem concerning the business of boxing,
Joe,
where do they think the money's going to come from?
I always said that when these fighters make, unreasonable demands, that tells me they don't really want to fight each other.
So, first of all, let's go back to this situation, right? Once again, Usyk's team, they don't want to budge from 50-50. They feel that this is just for a fight of this magnitude, even though he's never been a big ticket seller, especially in the British market. Fury's like, screw you. I could sell out 90 million with, with Dillian White.
No,
okay. I could sell out 90 million with against
90,000.
Or I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My apologies. 90,000. My apologies. I could sell out Wembley Stadium with or without you. So who's right and who's wrong in this situation?
Yeah. Well, who's right? Oh,
yep.
Fury. He's the man. He's the draw. Who the fuck cares? Usyk. He's a beautiful fighter. Okay. All right. I give him my respect. You know what I mean? He puts on great performances, but he ain't the fucking draw. Nobody cares about him. Fury's the man. He's the mouthpiece for the promotion. He's the salesman. Okay. That's not Usyk. Shit. And Fury's right. Fuck it. I just hold my ground, man. I'm not giving you 50-50 if I'm putting the asses in the seats, buddy. All right. Because I could do the same thing if I fight slow ass molasses Joe Joyce. Okay. Yeah. Is that his name? Yeah. Joe Joyce. Slow ass.
Yeah. He's going to be fighting Zhili Zhang in just a couple weeks.
So slow, Joe. When he, oh man, his punches are so slow. I fall asleep watching them. Oh, but anyway.
So what should Fury do in this scenario? Should he give in to his demands? Should he just, because he says, you know what? I could fill this stadium fighting Francis Ngannou, and it'll be a cakewalk, a walk in the park.
It'll be a bigger draw. It'll be a bigger draw. Everybody knows who that. What's that Ngannou?
Francis Ngannou. That's his name. Because
from the UFC, okay, he's got more marketability. UFC built him into a marketable pay-per-view star over there. He's got what do you call more clout, more recognized. He's more recognized worldwide than Usyk. All right, fuck it. I go. Hey man, Tyson. It all comes down to options, Joe. How bad you want the fight. Okay. You don't want to play ball. You're being unrealistic. Fuck you. I'll go after that. What's that guy's name? Ngannou. What's that?
Ngannou. Yeah.
Ngannou or slow ass Joe Joyce, and he'll still back to place 90,000. Okay. All right. So he's got options. Now you go with Usyk. What the fuck's he gonna do? Okay. Hey man, they gotta cut this shit out. There's this boxing, there's so much poison in it right now with these fighters and their unrealistic expectations. These guys that run these TV networks, they gotta grow some balls and put their foot down. Hey, take it or leave it, like Dana White does. All right. You don't want to play ball with me? Fine. I got 100 other guys that want to that are hungry and looking for opportunity, and I'll make them stars. Okay, and that's what they got to do, man. If you don't want to do it, whoa, go fight somewhere else. Who's he gonna fight, and who's gonna pay him the money? All right.
Yep.
Them Arabs, if they're stupid enough to do it, hey, go back over there.
Now, listen to this. And once again, guys, this is a rampant problem at this time because it was just reported from Mike Coppinger of ESPN on February 12th, just 3 days ago. He said Deontay Wilder is reportedly now fielding offers from other promoters for his next fight, with his team bringing up a potential Francis Ngannou clash. It's claimed that there's frustration between Wilder and Al Heyman over money for a proposed Andy Ruiz fight.
Yeah.
And look, once again, it's the same problem. This is what happens when you grossly inflate the purses of these fighters.
Yeah.
So Wilder's looking at this very difficult matchup, right, against a former champion, and he's going to be making considerably less than what he's asking for. He's like, screw this, right? So this is a big, big problem in boxing. This is a big, big problem right now, Coach. So what do you do? What do you do if you're Al Heyman? What do you do if you're Frank Warren and Bob Arum? What do you do?
It ain't them. They ain't paying the bills. The people that are paying the bills is the TV network executives.
Yep. That's it.
It's the buck stops with them. Look, they're the real promoters, okay? They finance this shit, okay? They're the real promoters. Arum and all them other guys, basically, they're middlemen, okay?
Yep, that's it. They're brokers.
Well, Arum does. Arum's Warren, I don't know, but probably he risked his money building them guys, but he had TV networks behind them with the money to do it, though, man.
They rely on the networks to pay the licensing fees. That's right.
They're real promoters, okay? The promoters nowadays are like middlemen. Okay? Yep. They're not real promoters where, like Don Chargan back in the days when he didn't have TV and he was developing all the world champions. It was money, he took the risk every time, okay? Money out of his pocket to promote the show. Also like on ticket sales.
Also like the late, great Ken Thompson. Yeah. God rest his soul of Thompson Boxing.
Yeah.
He was one of the last of the Mohicans. He never relied on TV dates.
Yeah.
And did a great job cultivating and nurturing prospects. Yeah.
But anyway, so, man, the buck stops with these TV networks and what are you coddling them and giving into their demands. It's like an NFL owner, Joe. What's that guy, Lamar Jackson? He's asking for just ridiculous money. They're like $100 million apart.
Oh, geez.
Buscati, who I hear is a very good businessman and just doesn't throw his money away, okay? And that's why they're at that impasse. He wants $100 million more than what Buscati is offering him. Fuck. But Buscati is putting his foot down. He goes, man, this guy, Jackson, he ain't won us no fucking Super Bowl, and he's always getting hurt. So why should I guarantee him that, $250 million he wants? Yeah, man. If I was Buscati, which I think he's gonna do, oh man, fuck. You don't want to come to your senses. We're gonna shop you around for the highest bidder. All right.
Yep. Look, unless you're putting up Canelo numbers, right, or Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury numbers, right, for the live gauge as well as pay-per-view sales, then you have no business asking for that kind of outlandish purse. Keep in mind, Deontay Wilder did less than 100,000 pay-per-view sales in his last fight against Elenius, and he only sold 9,000 tickets at Barclays Center in a big market in New York.
Yeah.
But this is what happens, though.
He ain't no super. Tank puts more money in the pockets than him. All right.
Yep.
Little Tank, he delivers more to the table than Wilder. Okay. I don't give a fuck if he's a heavyweight. It's how much revenue do you bring to the table? Tank. Hey, he's on pay-per-view all the time. Okay. That means he's doing something right. All right, they're making money. He's making money because they keep showing them on pay-per-view. Okay, if you're a pay-per-view failure like the Charlo sisters, I mean the Charlo brothers, okay, Joe, they were one and done. Am I right?
That's it. And they're at, you know what?
How about the back end?
Oh boy, zilch, zero. Oh, we're pay-per-view stars now. No, it doesn't work like that. You've got to produce. Productivity is king in this business. Okay? It's king in this business. Right?
Yeah,
that's it.
Right.
Why do you think Top Rank is very excited to be promoting Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury?
They're promoting that fight?
They're the co-promoters in the US. Yes.
Oh. Okay.
Yep. It's going to be on ESPN pay-per-view, sir.
Yeah. As bad as what's that guy's name? Paul?
Jake Paul?
Yeah, he's bad mouth there. Aram, like I said, he'll forgive you. If you can bring
No. This is what's funny is though, they just had kind of behind the scenes a little promotional footage, right, of Jake Paul, and it was the Top Rank crew filming all of this. Jake Paul, understanding the lineage of boxing, goes, "Oh my gosh, I have actually Top Rank promoting my event in the US on ESPN." He was acting like a kid in a candy store, like he couldn't believe the historic Bob Arum was going to be co-promoter of his event. And he seemed giddy, like a fan, as he should be. It's a big, big deal. Now, once again, he actually produces numbers. Like him or not, guys, he produces numbers. And once again, guys, this is one of the primary reasons why we stress the business on this channel, so you guys understand why certain deals get made, certain deals aren't. And Coach Gogue, what do you have to say with the fans? If this deal falls apart between Fury and Usyk, what do you have to say to the fans that are going to be screaming, accusing Fury of ducking Usyk? What do you have to say to them?
What do I got to say?
Yeah.
Understand the business, okay? And understand why Fury turned down the fight, okay? Okay? They just got to understand the business. And you pay the guy that brings that puts the asses in the seats, that sells, pay-per-view, all right? That brings sponsorships to the event. I mean, who the fuck is Usyk going to bring? What does he got to bring to the event?
Now, keep in mind, guys, they're trying with this event to appeal to because look, to fill up Wembley Stadium, you have to have a healthy percentage of casual and mainstream fans.
You're damn right.
Okay, how many mainstream and casual fans does Usyk draw every time he fights?
Not many.
No, that's the problem, guys. That's why we're seeing this impasse. It's important you understand that. And guys, it's always an education within the business or the X's and O's when James Gogue is on the air. Thank you for, and you know what, brother? Bravo. And once again, you were very prophetic back in July.
Look, between me and you, I remember saying all that, but I don't know, what's his name? The manager for
Usyk?
Yeah, the guy, the guy that represents all them Russians or, all them fighters.
Oh, no. That's, that's Igis Klimas.
Igis.
Yep.
That doesn't sound like Igis. Igis.
No, because this is Usyk's promoter doing the negotiations, not Igis. Yeah.
Isn't Usyk and Igis together? Yeah. The manager?
That's his manager, yes.
Yeah, I mean, Igis is known to make deals.
Yep,
okay?
He is.
Not to obstruct deals. So, that's why I was kind of like,
Well, guys, let's just hope that Frank Warren is able to talk some sense into Team Usyk, right? Because they're no longer dealing with the Saudis. They're relying on the gate, right? Yeah. They're relying on the gate as well as BT Sport.
Yeah. And them damn Saudis ain't gonna pay him no crazy money to go fight over there against nobody. They want, they want a guy like Anthony Joshua, a big name, that's gonna bring fans from England over there. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
that's it.
Usyk, who the fuck would want to go? Honestly, Who would go support him if he fought in Saudi Arabia? The motherfucking camels. That's who. Anyway.
Now, once again, though, if Usyk does fight his mandatory challenger, right, and it's not going to be Joe Joyce. He has his hands full with the Big Bang Zhang in a couple weeks. So the likeliest choice then would be the IBF mandatory challenger, which is Ronnie Shields' fighter, the gentleman, what's his name? Filip Ergovic, right? So when you put together, if you're a promoter or a network, how much would you pay for that purse combined, right? Usyk versus Ergovic. How much would you pay, Gogue? And that should put everything in its proper perspective. Do you think that Warren and company, do you think they should kind of force Usyk's hand and, well, give him an education in the business of boxing?
Oh, they know all this shit, man. I mean, come on, man. I mean, they got good managers, good representation. Aegis is, man, he usually makes the deals, and the fighters, they don't question him. They trust him. All right.
Yep.
Aegis is an old school manager, because back in the days, that's what used to happen. Old school managers, they used to make the deal with the promoter, and the fighter never questioned them. Now these motherfuckers, man, they want to be the promoter. They want to be the head negotiator and all this shit, man. Let your people take care of it, man. If you got good people, you could trust them. They ain't ripping you off and have a good attorney watching them. Yeah, man, they got, they're going to do what's best for you and everything, man. But, you got to, in order for big fights to be made, you got to be reasonable. If the money ain't there, then it ain't there. What are you doing? It's just going to come out of thin air. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It just doesn't happen like that.
It doesn't happen. That's, once again, who's going to pay for it? Who's going to pay for it, right? And so, yeah. But, guys, before we move forward, let's give a shout out to several of our dear friends here supporting the coach on a very impromptu Wednesday night episode, right? Want to give a big shout out to my brother, Bruce, Gas Boxing, Jazz, and more. He says, salute Joseph and Coach Gogue. And guys, if you missed his episode, and once again, he was watching, he always puts on a classic fight. And on tonight's episode of Bruce's show, he had terrible Tim Witherspoon sitting in the studio with him. He also had Leon Muhammad as well.
Who?
Leon Muhammad. Yep. And
Leon
look,
Muhammad.
Yep. And once again, it was they were watching Muhammad Ali versus Leon Spinks 1.
Hey, Leon Muhammad, Murad Muhammad. Is it Murad? I don't know.
No. It was Leon Muhammad. Well, nonetheless, it was great watching this. And so, guys, if you haven't seen it yet, go back after this episode and go back and check out Bruce's show. Awesome stuff. And thank you for supporting the coach there on this Wednesday evening. Also want to give a shout out to my brother Jesus M. He says, saludos, coach. Thank you for always supporting the coach every week, sir. Thank you for being here. And also my brother Gus, he says, what's going on, Joseph, coach? And he also says this. Joseph, I'm going to be fighting at the Golden Gloves this weekend in San Antonio. Okay. I will be there. It's going to be at the old church, isn't it? Their little reception hall. Right. I'm pretty sure it's going to be there. I'm going to find out, tomorrow if I'm going to be announcing the Golden Gloves. So I will be there, sir, and it's going to be my pleasure to watch you work, right? I'll give you a special shout out. Also, my brother B.W.A.W, he says, good evening, coach and Mr. Heron. Happy to see you all as always. And you know what? We're happy to see you too, brother. Thank you for always supporting the coach. Also, my brother, G Funky Boxing. Greeting, Joseph and Coach Gogue. I'm here to catch a full show tomorrow morning. I'm about to pass out. Hit the like button, guys. Yes, guys, hit the like button. If you haven't already subscribed, we need 12 more to get over 1,000. And then YouTube has to start paying Coach Gogue for our content. How do you like that? Get us over 1,000, guys.
Yeah.
Woo!
Get us over that 1,000 mark.
Yep. And we're 12 away. We're 12 away. Want to also thank, by the way, before I go to Juice, Guys, tune in tomorrow night at this same time, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. I'm going to have a special edition of WaraWeek Radio Chats and co-hosted by my brother, G Funky Boxing. So please tune into that tomorrow night. Also want to give a shout out to my brother Juice. Salute Mr. Heron and legend Coach Gogue. You guys always put on a great show. Thank you for your dedication to boxing. Thank you for your dedication to boxing, my friend. Also want to give a big shout out to my brother Chicken Talk. And guys, if you missed his episode of his first episode of his new series on Chicken Talk, right? Beyond the Ropes, episode 1, in which he interviewed longtime matchmaker, attorney, manager, Kurt Emhoff. Yeah. It was great stuff, man, by Lefty from Chicken Talk. Excellent work. Guys, please go subscribe to his channel if you haven't already and check out what he actually had to offer. Very informative, very educational, guys. Thank you.
Where is he from, Chicken Talk?
Oh, Lefty, where are you from, brother? Coach Gogue always wants to know where his listeners are residing, right? And he says this, Dubois is Usyk's mandatory because Phillip has a mandatory. Wow. Yeah, well, I tell you what, also it looks like Phillip more than likely is going to get the Andy Ruiz fight. The IBF, Daryl Peoples, just slammed. They mandated a purse bid for this fight, right? So we're going to see. It's going to be more than likely Philip Bergovich versus Andy Ruiz Jr. Because, Wilder is no longer interested because of, now this makes a lot of sense, right?
East side.
Yep, east side of Detroit, now in Cincinnati. Yep.
Okay.
Those are two great historic boxing areas, and it's funny.
Yeah, they got a lot of talent from that area. D-Town and Cincy.
Yep.
Detroit used to be because of the Crump. Oh,
yep.
My God. Manuel had that place rocking and rolling. And Cincinnati, too, way back, Ezra Charles, Aaron Pryor, and, they got a lot of tough, they got good amateur programs.
It's funny when I was working with Emmanuel James, Emmanuel used to always say, you know what, when we always fought against the Cincinnati amateur group, right, in these little regional tournaments, he always knew that he was going to be in a tough fight, his guys.
Yeah.
He had a lot of respect for the amateur program and those gyms and the coaches in the Cincinnati area. Yep.
Yeah, Buddy LaRosa, the pizza guy, the manager of Aaron Pryor, he put a lot of his money into helping them kids. Yeah.
Also, Mike Stafford, one of the most underrated coaches in boxing.
Yeah.
He is a great guy, and he's a great mentor to all of the kids that he cultivates there in the Cincinnati area. He's a credit to the sport. Yep. So thank you, Lefty, for joining us and always supporting the coach every week, my friend. But I tell you what, Coach, we've only here. Check it out. He says La Rosa Pizza funds amateur boxing in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Yep,
I know.
That's it.
I know, buddy. I met him in '92 when I think Tim Austin was Tim Austin, the former IBF champ, the Olympian in the '92 team. He, I think he was helping him out or something like that. I think it was. I can't remember. '96 too. He helped out some fight. God, I can't remember. I got to remember these guys. Yeah, but Buddy, Buddy's a good guy. I know for a fact he was helping out Ricardo Williams, the 2000 silver medalist from Cincy. He was helping him out. Yeah, Buddy's a good guy. He made his money in the pizza restaurant business, he told me. And is he still living? Is he still alive? Chicken Talk. Is his Lefty?
Yeah, Lefty is his name. Yeah, that's his handle anyway. Yeah.
I hope he is still alive.
Yep. Well, guys, and once again, we still have a lot to cover. And so we want to thank all of you guys for joining us tonight. We have a lot to cover, guys. Guys, and once again, this should give you an indication, right? Matchups do matter, though, Gogue, because Anthony Joshua, it's been revealed by Eddie Hearn, right? Because he's fighting a relative unknown in the UK, like Jermaine Franklin in his comeback fight after his loss to Usyk. He's only sold 13,000 tickets at the O2.
Who's that?
Anthony Joshua versus Jermaine Franklin.
Yeah. Matchups matter, man.
Yep.
Especially when you lose 2 in a row, your marketability goes down.
Yep. Guys, and once again, this is a tough business, guys. This is a tough business, right? Quality of opposition does indeed matter, but you know what? Geez, it's a tough business. And want to thank EJ for joining us. Hope you're doing well, my friend. What I missed, Joseph? Well, Coach Gogue just did a rundown on education on the business of boxing, right? And he says, Lefty says, yep, Buddy is still alive.
All right, my man Buddy. Good for him, man. Yeah.
And he said, he also asks you, Coach, do you know Frank Rhodes? One of the first people I met when I moved here. And he says, Frank Rhodes, 168-pounder.
Jeez, man, the guys I knew from Cincinnati, man. Broner, Rasheed Warren, but back then in the days, Jesus, God, there was a guy, man, I got to get I forget. They had a lot of good all the way back since the early 90s. They had some good fighters, man, from Cincinnati. I gotta go review all the fighters back in that area. But Tim Austin was the man who made the Olympic team in '92. The one with De La Hoya was on, and Tim became the IBF bantamweight champ of the world. He was with King and everything. One of the few fighters King took from scratch and all the way to the title, because King, he don't invest in fighters. He don't build fighters. King doesn't build fighters. There was a saying in boxing, King doesn't build them, he steals them. Yeah.
And there it is. I tell you what. Yeah. And you know what's funny? Fun fact, guys. Most people don't realize our brother, Coach Ronnie Shields, he used to be roommates with Aaron Pryor from Cincinnati while they were doing the Olympic trials and as a part of the Team USA boxing.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. The Hawk.
Yep. Yeah. The Hawk. Yep. Arguably the greatest 140-pound fighter to lace him up.
A nonstop punching machine,
Yep.
Heavy-handed too.
Yep. Oh man, Aaron Pryor was something special. He was something special. We could devote an entire episode, Coach, to Aaron Pryor, the Hawk. Boy, the Cincinnati kid.
I think Larry Donald was from the Cincy area too. I think Larry, he was on the Olympic team, the heavyweight super heavyweight on the '92 team. I think he was from. Yeah, I'm pretty damn sure he's from Cincy too. Yeah, Larry Donald.
Yep. I tell you what, we're going to give you before we move forward, Coach, and we have a lot of news to cover still, guys. And if you guys have any questions for Coach James Gogue, just let them fly. He loves fielding questions from you guys. But let's look at the fight schedule for this weekend. In Pomona, California, on DAZN, February 18th is going to be Luis Neri versus Azat Hovhannisyan in your 12-round main event for the WBC Junior Featherweight title eliminator, right? Sugar Shane Mosley Jr. is also going to be in the co-main event. He's going to be against Mario Lozano. And Coach, do you like this fight?
What is Dead Zone? Or DAZN?
Yeah, it's on DAZN, brother. Jeez.
I mean,
it's going to be your Golden Boy main event. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And then, earlier that day on DAZN, they've got a two-card. They've got two cards, right, in other parts of the world. In Nottingham, right, on DAZN, your main event of the evening, Lee Wood versus Mauricio Lara.
Ooh, that's the fight I want to see.
He's gonna make it. He's gonna be making his first defense of that WBA featherweight title. Coach, do you like this fight?
Man, Lee Wood better be ready. He ain't fighting that Chinaman, Zhu Zhang. What's that, Zhu Can?
Yeah, dude.
He's fighting a physically and mentally tough, resilient fighter in Bronco Lara. Excellent condition because he trains in the mountains of Mexico City, 8,000 feet, okay? And he spars at that altitude. That's, when you train, I've talked about this on the show before. When you train in that high altitude, when the air is thin, it makes your body work 2-3 times harder. It pushes yourself. You got to push yourself to get acclimated to that thin air. And in the meantime, your body gets, physically fit to the maximum potential, and your air. Your lungs are strong, your legs are strong. You know what I mean? Your whole body, man. Conditioning is everything to me, man. All right.
Yep.
If you're going in a fight like this, you want to be in the best shape possible. That's why, fighters in the past, when I used to train my guys up in Big Bear Lake in the 90s at Larry Goosen's gym, they told me when you train in that high altitude and when you go back down to sea level, you're a different animal, man. Okay. Because that thin air, okay, you got to work 2-3 times harder to get acclimated in that environment. And when you do that, when you go down to sea level, oh my God, I when I used to run, with the fighters back then, when I used to run over there for 6 weeks in the training camp. Then when I go back after the fight, go back to sea level in Sacramento, oh my God. I'm like, man, I'm running like 45-minute sprints and I wasn't even tired. A 45-minute fast-paced run, I wasn't even tired. I'm like, damn, man, I can feel the difference. So I'm a believer of that, man. That that altitude, training in that altitude gets you in the best shape. And that Lara boy, he's gonna be bringing it to Lee Wood. Okay?
Oh boy. Oh geez. What is your prediction? Yep. What's your prediction for this fight, Coach? Oh geez.
Now, let me tell you, Lara had a hard time making weight his last fight.
Oh, boy.
They had to keep on adjusting the contract. But Lee Wood's a good fighter now. I see him fight.
He's a tough man. He's a tough man. Yep. Yeah. But look. At Zhu Can, right?
Zhu Can, yeah.
Yep. So Mauricio Lara going into this fight, he's a challenger, but he's the betting odds favorite at a -250. Right, according to BetMGM, and
look at Lara did the Warrington. He couldn't handle that heat, in the back half. Okay, and this one, this Lara comes on. Okay, because of his that high altitude conditioning he does in Mexico City in the mountains over there. Boy, you start wearing down as a fighter, but he gets stronger. Okay.
Yep. And you know what? Our brother Lefty says, you know what? Wood ain't no joke. No, he isn't. That's why everyone's expecting a great fight. He
trains over there in that altitude in England. Okay, sea level. This guy trains, the conditioning is a different story.
Yeah.
We'll
and
look,
Wood proved his heart and mental and physical durability against Conlon. Yeah.
What's a good fighter?
He's a very good fighter, very tough man.
But Khan, what's that guy? Zhu
Can. Yep.
He ain't Lara. Okay, Lara's a different beast, man.
No, he's not. We also want to welcome to the show our brother Tony Manzano. Welcome to the show, sir. He says, hi, Joe and Coach. Hello to you, sir, and thank you for always supporting the coach, my friend.
It's like that other Mexican man, Jose Alberto Lopez.
Yep. Oh, yeah. The upset machine.
He's like Lara.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
There it is. Oh, yeah. Tough man. Well, I tell you what, we're going to try to run a tight 60 because Coach has to get his beauty sleep. But I wanted to ask you, Coach. It looks like this is going to be made for later this year. And it is, hold on, let me pull this up. Right now, negotiations are underway, and it looks like it's going to happen between formerly undisputed 140-pound champ Josh Taylor. He's going to be defending the last belt that he has, his WBO strap, against former undisputed 135-pound champ Teofimo Lopez later this year in Scotland. Now, if this fight were to happen a year and a half ago, this would be one of the biggest matchups in boxing, undisputed versus undisputed. But right now, no one really seems to care, Coach. Is this still a great elite level matchup in your mind?
Oh, Lopez, he didn't look good his last fight, and the other guy, he didn't look all that good either. He looked terrible. Okay, and he's supposed to get that rematch with Catterall, and they never, people wanted to see that rematch. They wanted to see if it was a fluke. Okay.
Yeah.
And so like I said, when you don't look boxing, I'm gonna tell you something. Bernard Hopkins, I always say on the show, he told me this when we were training in Big Bear Lake in the 90s. He was getting ready to fight Glenn Johnson, and
he stopped Glencoff Johnson. Yep.
Yeah, and he looked impressive. But what he told me was he came up to me in my heavyweight Clay Bay. Right after we were watching the spar, he goes, "Winning ain't good enough. You got to look good." All right.
Yep. That's it.
You got to look good. And them guys, if you don't look good, people remember that. You're only good as your last fight in boxing. And if you don't look good, guess what? They're gonna hold that against you. Like, oh, geez, man, this guy, he's slipping. And this fight, if they were at their peak and both were coming off great victories, this fight, it would be it would catch fire. All right.
Yep.
But these guys, the way he looked his last fight, everybody thought he could have lost Lopez and Taylor.
Yep.
But you know what, Joe? I'll believe it when I see it, when they step in the ring. Because, man, come on. That doesn't sound like these fighters nowadays. Oh, well, I'll fight you. And go to Scotland?
Yep.
Wherever he's from, yeah.
Yep, Scotland. Yep.
Yeah, sure. Let me see it. And I'll believe it.
So guys, I usually don't introduce this segment in Coach Gogue's show. It's usually confined to Ronnie Shields' show. But I'm going to introduce this today and give you a brief fact or fiction, Gogue, in the last remaining minutes of this program, right? So here's number one, Coach. Number one, fact or fiction. Now, once again, how to play this is I will give you a prediction, and you have to tell me whether or not it's going to be proven to be fact or fiction and explain why or why not. Are you ready, sir?
Go ahead, run it.
Number one, Deontay Wilder will indeed scrap a WBC mandated matchup against Andy Ruiz and subsequently announce his retirement from boxing once again. Fact or fiction?
I think it's very, very possible, because when you make so much money, your purses are overinflated. All of a sudden, when you come back, you expect to make this much. It's like Floyd Mayweather. Okay, when he fought Andre Berto, who did he beat before Andre Berto? Pacquiao, I think.
Manny Pacquiao. Yep.
He made hundreds of millions of dollars. All of a sudden, he had to fulfill his contract with Showtime, and he was only making $32 million. I heard he wasn't too happy. You know what I mean, Joe?
Yep.
Only $32 million, poor baby. You know what I mean? When you're making every time you cut a fighter's purse, man, they ain't happy, man. They expect that kind of money all the time. You know what I mean?
That's it. So we move on then to number two, Coach. Tyson Fury will scrap a critically mandated fight with Alexander Usyk and take on Francis Ngannou at Wembley instead. Fact or fiction?
Fact.
Oh boy.
Because he ain't gonna split. He ain't, me too. I would put my foot down. No, I'm not giving you 50% when you can't put the asses in the seats like I can. I could do it with other fighters. Can you do that? Can you put 90,000 asses in the seats? No, I can't. I could do it with that UFC guy. I could do it with slow ass Joe Joyce. or that other guy, Dubois. You know what I mean? Get out of here, man. Nah.
Oh, jeez.
You know what I mean? I will put my foot down. Nah. Usyk, Fury. It's a matter of principle, man. What's right and the right. He is in the right.
And there it is, guys. There it is. Right. Jeez. So we move on to number three then, Coach. And this has to do with this weekend's fights. Fact or fiction, Mauricio Lara will brutally KO reigning WBA featherweight champ Lee Wood this Saturday in Nottingham, England on DAZN. Fact or fiction?
That Lee Wood's a damn good fighter.
He's a tough man.
I would have to go with fact because the Mexicans have been going over there and taking care of business against some good fighters. Okay, they're all good. They're all good when they're ahead and everything is going good. But when they gotta fight these resilient, tough Mexican fighters, with good stamina, good chins, they don't fight them like that coming up in England. Okay.
Yeah, it's hard to find sparring in the UK to replicate someone like Mauricio Lara.
Yeah.
Yep.
You gotta hire Mexican, tough Mexicans and import them to come in.
Yeah.
I'm in Mexico, so I see them guys all the time. We spar tough guys like that.
Yep.
All the time. So it's
but look, deal. Unless you can find someone in the UK that replicates Ricky Hatton style, best of luck.
Yeah.
So we move on to number 4, Coach. Go ahead.
Wait till he gets hit by those hammers, Alar.
Right. Oh boy.
But, hey, Wood's a good fighter, though, from what I've seen.
He's a tough man. He's a tough man. He can counter effectively, too. Yep. So here we go, Coach. Number 4. Triple G will relinquish his WBA middleweight strap as well and subsequently announce his retirement from boxing. Once again, guys, the business rears its ugly head. Fact or fiction, Coach?
Fact. If he ain't getting the money he wants, bye-bye.
So are you telling?
It comes down to, hey, you make this type of money, then all of a sudden they ask you to take this type of money. It's Joe, at his age, it's not motivating, okay? Because he's still got to put in that work in the gym and go through make all those sacrifices.
Yep. So wait a minute. Are you telling me then a fight between Triple G and Erislandy Lara isn't yielding any money?
Oh, maybe Triple G and Jaime Munguia, or Triple G and Berlanga, okay? Young guys like that. That makes sense.
Before I actually tell you the final number 5, right? What do you think of Edgar Berlanga signing a multi-fight deal with Matchroom Sport?
I knew that, though, Joe. Remember we talked about it on the show a few weeks ago?
Yeah, you called it. Yep, you sure did.
You go, what should he do? I go, the only thing that makes sense is, get that fight with Canelo. And who do you got to sign with? You don't have to go to Golden Boy or Al Heyman.
Nope.
There'll be middlemen for you, trying to make that deal. Go directly to Hearns and make the deal and keep all the money. You don't have to pay him that percentage for delivering them.
That's it.
Delivering you to them. Yeah.
That's it.
I said, man, that makes sense, Berlanga. Now, remember I said you got to get him hot with a couple of fights, okay, to get the drum rolling. Okay.
So here's a special fact or fiction, Coach. Fact or fiction. Edgar Berlanga will get outpointed or knocked out before he ever sees a fight with Canelo materialize. Fact or fiction?
Fiction. They'll find guys he could beat.
You think Eric Botcher wouldn't match him up that tough, huh?
What the fuck for? You got a hot fight on the future. You match him against guys he's going to look good. Guys that are right there to get hit. None of these movers and everything, which gives him problems, okay?
Yep.
And once again, you just get him with the right guys that are going to give him, that's good. You give him the right guys that he's going to knock out and look spectacular. That'll make the fight hot.
That's it. And once again, Eric Botcher's too smart and too experienced. Veteran matchmaker to pair him up tough before a Canelo fight. Yep.
He knows what he's doing, Eric.
Yeah, veteran matchmaker. Used to be the matchmaker of Don King.
He used to be the matchmaker, I think, of Cedric too. I think.
Cedric.
Roy
What was it?
Jones Jr. I know he was the matchmaker of Roy because
Kushner. Yeah, Cedric Kushner. That's right.
Roy Jones Jr. Because I had a couple fights with Roy back in the days. Yeah. So.
And there it is. And your final prognostication, fact or fiction. Here it comes, Coach. Number 5. The highly anticipated showdown between Tank versus Ryan will get postponed due to legal entanglements, and the long-awaited Spence versus Crawford bout for undisputed at 47 will get made instead out of necessity. Fact or fiction?
Let me see. The first part, man, he's got to, he's got to beat those charges. It ain't gonna be easy. So, the second part,
got a female judge, Coach.
And she's got a hard on for him, man. She's just waiting for him to be found guilty so she could lay the hammer down.
Make an example out of him, Coach. Make an example out of him.
I don't know what, I just heard she's not too, what do you call it? She's not a fan of Tank Davis, okay? But anyway.
Oh, no.
That fight with that fantasy matchup with them two welterweights that are now junior middleweights. So, yeah, we'll see. They've been talking for years, and nothing gets done. So I don't,
Well, look, let me get your thoughts on this before we let you go, Coach, because we've already run over 60 minutes. What are your thoughts on Steven Espinosa, right? His job has been secured. He's going to continue his role as president of sports with Showtime Entertainment, but he's going to be moving over to CBS Sports, and he's going to be answering to current president David Burson. And once again, I've been told that, yes, his job is indeed secure. Is this a good or bad thing for the future of Showtime Sports Entertainment?
I think it's good for Stevie because he's still got a motherfucking job. but if Stevie's smart, he'll clean all that shit out of that Showtime mess that Al Heyman polluted. And he'll start from scratch. And if he's smart, he'll do it like the old time CBS series that they used to do back in the days, or ABC or NBC when they used to have fights. Don't get aligned to one promoter. Only buy the best fights. I give you an example, man. I remember Don Chargan. He was at Aram's first wedding in the 70s. Aram's first wife, him and Lorraine were, in the wedding. And, what happened was executive, I think from CBS or one of them, came up to Don, and because of Don's reputation of making the best fights, he went up to Don. He goes, "I want to put on an exciting barn burner slugfest on my network." And Don goes, "I got the right guys." It was that Bruce Curry and against his cousin. You remember that, Joe? That nutcase Bruce Curry when he had a beef with his cousin.
Oh, no, that was before my time, my friend.
Oh, God dog it, man. Don told me that. But Bruce Curry, and that guy he fought, I can't remember that. Jesus, man, my man.
Let's go back to point though. The important lesson here is
the thing is, Joe, let me explain to you.
Yes, sir.
Don sold him that idea of the fight, and the guy accepted it, and it was a fucking war. Okay, that's the type of fight you got to buy. Okay, you want to, if Stevie gets back into, CBS, and I'm pretty sure, he's going to be the vice president. He'll have a lot of influence. Do it right, man. Just buy the best fights. Don't fucking get in line with a fucking promoter so they could build up their fighters and against, mismatches. Put them in, if you're going to, if you want to bring the masses back into the boxing and get them excited about boxing, just put on the best matchups. And they might be unknowns, but if they make a great fight, a war, they become stars that night.
That's it.
And that's what you got to do, man. And if he does that, he'll be the network, the CBS start getting hot in boxing, then the other networks, oh man, we need to get back
They'll
in.
follow suit. That's it. That's it. Monkey see, monkey do. I tell you what, you've got and guys, the moral of the story here, kids, sign fights, not promotional companies or fighters.
Look,
sign matchups.
Look, when Don had Tony Lopez, NBC used to love to use Tony all the time.
That's right.
Don didn't have no fucking contract with them guys. You know, his partner was Dan Duva, but you know, they always wanted to use Tony because he always put on great fights and he always did great ratings.
Oh, hey, my brother Bruce.
Monroe Brooks, that's the guy.
Monroe Brooks, very good. Thank you, Bruce. Our resident boxing historian. Man. Love it.
They hated each other, man. And they were cousins too. So Don, like, okay, you guys, they were begging to fight each other at the Olympic, but Don, never pulled the plug. Then all of a sudden, when this TV executive asked him to do it, he goes, "Oh, I got somebody." And because of Don's reputation, that TV executive, he didn't even have to question. They put it on. It was a whew. Them guys couldn't wait to fight each other, man. You know, because when you got two bad blood between two fighters like De La Hoya, Vargas, you know, them guys have bad blood. Or Vargas and Trinidad, yeah, bad blood.
You know what? And what's amazing, like a hound dog, right? Don could always sniff out a great matchup. And what's most important, he was the consummate salesman. He would sell both camps that it was a good idea.
Yeah. Being a matchmaker, you got to be a salesman, okay?
Yep.
You got. We'll talk about that Eddie Futch. I'll tell you a story about Eddie Futch and Don.
Let's hear it, Coach.
It was a fight. He had Hedgeman Lewis, the former welterweight contender.
6 heads.
Yeah, and Barbara Streisand and Ryan O'Neal.
Ryan O'Neal. That's right. They were the managers.
Yeah, but Eddie was a mouthpiece. So I can't remember who the fighter was. It was a tough fight for Hedgeman. So, you know, Eddie went to Don's house and, man, Don was presenting him the fight, trying to sell it, and Eddie was hesitant. Don told me he got there like 2 p.m. By around 11 or 12 at night, nothing, got done. The negotiations kept going on. Don Lorraine goes, "Hey, Eddie, just spend the night. We'll spend the night. We'll conclude in the morning and get the deal done."
That's right. You told me that story. Yep.
It took them all night, and in the morning to convince Eddie. So you got to be Eddie Futch, the Hall of Fame trainer, and yeah. But anyway, man, you got to be a salesman to make these fucking, especially nowadays. Oh God, nobody wants to fight nobody. You know what I mean? So
that's it. That's it. And once again, Bruce adds even more juicy gossip. He says,
"It was over a girl."
You know what? It was over a girl. That's why the two cousins hated each other.
I don't remember. I just remember Don told me they hated each other. I can't remember what. I watched the fight too, man. I'm like, Jesus. Damn, Bruce, you got a damn good memory, man.
Yep, he's you know what? And that's why we love him, brother, and that's why we love his channel, guys. If you want more of Bruce, please go subscribe at this time. Does a great job. Well, hey, Bruce, once again, celebrating the classic fights. Yep,
Bruce, you like fights? Watch this one: Mondo Ramos against Sugar Ramos.
Oh my gosh!
Don Chargan told me that was the greatest fight he ever seen in person, or the greatest fight he ever made. Yeah, over 14,000 standing room only at the Olympic. Yeah, for that fight. Yeah,
the classic. And once again, guys, if you don't know, that's how Don garnered his WA.W moniker, because he was expected at the as chief matchmaker for Lorraine Eaton. All right, or Eileen Eaton, rather. Eileen Eaton. Yeah. He was expected to come up with a different card every single week, and he did that.
You know what she told him?
He did that for 25 years, guys.
You know what she told him?
Mm-hmm.
Every fight's got to be competitive.
Oh,
don't baby one or the other. Okay, put them all fair, competitive fights.
There it is. There it is. And that's how Don, and once again, he didn't come up with the name. Everyone in the business gave him this nickname, WA.W, because he put on a damn war every single week.
Everybody wanted to fight at the Olympic back then, Don told me, man. It was like the mecca of boxing on the West Coast. Madison Square Garden and Teddy Brenner were like the mecca of boxing on the East Coast. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Crazy.
There it is. And before we leave, we want to give a shout out to our brother. Good evening, everyone. Shout out to Coach Gogue.
What up, Sky?
That guy's hilarious. Yes, he is. But we always learn something new whenever the coach is actually residing and teaching. Like, once again, whenever we have Coach Gogue on the air, school is in session, guys.
Hey.
And we're all the better for it.
Hey, Bruce, one fight you should analyze Mia St. John against Jackie Frazier. Did they fight?
Stop it, Coach.
That was a joke, Bruce. Yeah, that was a joke.
Stop it, brother. Stop it.
But
no.
Jackie Frazier actually fought.
Yep.
Jesus. She's a lawyer too, you know?
Yeah.
Can't believe she actually fought.
Oh, please don't remind us. Jeez.
Nice girl. Nice lady.
Yep.
But, yeah.
And there it is. And guys, like I said, we're starting this. We want to thank Coach Gogue for devoting his time this Wednesday, guys, because we weren't able to have the show. Obviously, we didn't want to compete with the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
But thank you, Coach, for devoting your time to us this Wednesday. I guess we're at the end of the road, Coach. Do you have any parting shots for our listening audience?
No, the only fight that's worth watching this week is that Laura Wood. That's gonna be it's gonna be his hometown, Nottingham, is it?
Nottingham, England. Yep.
Ooh, Carl Froch territory. So,
yep, Carl
man,
Froch. That's right.
God, England, man, you fans over there are so lucky, man. It's so mainstream over there. You know what I mean? There's so much excitement. Like when this fight, you know, it comes up Saturday. You know, man, oh geez, man. That's the fight I want to see. Styles make fights. This fight, let me tell you this, man. If Wood is to remain champion, he's gotta, you know, handle them hammers in that onslaught in you know, in the later rounds from Lara. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That ain't easy.
Nope.
Ain't easy.
Ain't easy, but should be a barn burner, guys. And once again, if you're looking at any fight to promote to your casual and mainstream friends, right? This one is it. Guys, this is going to be breathtaking action from Nottingham, England. Guys, and once again, we're counting on all of you guys. You guys are the best ambassadors boxing has at this time.
Joe, you know why this is a good fight? It's not only the stylistic matchup. Both guys have that physical temperament, you know, like to get it on, but it's in the right location.
That's it. That's it, guys. And once again, the atmosphere creates the event.
Oof.
That's it, guys. And look, big shout out to my brother Izzy. He says, I'll be ringside in Pomona for Neri versus Ovanesian. Can't wait. Coach Gogue, I'm going to support the sport we all love in the flesh.
All right.
Bravo, brother. You're an excellent fan, and thank you for always supporting the coach every single week, brother. We love you, man.
Did you get free tickets? Hey, that's what's the norm nowadays.
No. This isn't PBC. This is Golden Boy.
Yeah, they're not as liberal giving out tickets like PBC. Yeah.
And there it is. I tell you what, Coach Gogue, parting shots for our listening audience here.
Just another good show, different. I usually I'm a coach and I break down fights and I talk about stylistic matchups, strengths and weaknesses of both fighters, keys to victory and stuff like that. Or, you know, in the training aspect, you know, how to prepare for fight and all that. But it was different today. You know, I do know the business part because, being around Don Chargan, 30 years, you learn a little something. But it's not my favorite part of this fucked up business. All right.
Definitely not our favorite part of the sport, but it's imperative that you guys understand the business. So you know why certain matchups, certain deals don't materialize and why certain ones do.
It's just Joe, it's math. Get a fucking calculator, okay? If it doesn't add up, it ain't going to make sense.
That's it. That's it. And try explaining that to some fighters, Coach.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, it's like talking to a wall where paint is drying.
It's like trying to explain calculus. Yeah. Yeah. And there it is, guys. So on behalf of the 5-decade fight trainer, James Gogue, I'm Joseph Herron. Thank you for joining us, guys, and have a wonderful Wednesday night, everybody.
Halftime Pizza and FightSaga.com proudly present